mind, putting the information inside their spirit and giving them the Holy Spirit, which will allow them to open up the books and to see what's of the book and reveal the secrets of the book. So now we're in the time of the prophets revealing the book and the books being opened. That's how this man would also be revealed, by opening up the books. Like I was saying earlier before, we're judging Esau by what? The Bible. We're not judging him based on our own formulated laws that we made ourselves. We're judging him by the book, the books or the Bible, which the word, you get the word Bible from, I believe it's the Greek biblios, which means a compact of books. So we're opening up the books against this man. Go on, brother.
We're pulling out the receipts on his ass.
Yeah.
This is back in verse 5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. And now we know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time.
Yeah, and that he may be revealed in his time. And this is his time once again, because during the time of the Apostle Paul, that was the time of the Edomites, the Romans. Now he's back again ruling as prophesied, Revelations 20:2, that the deadly wound of the dragon be healed. So Esau is ruling all over again. The so-called white people are back in power again, after the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages. Okay? And they're being revealed more so now. That's why it says the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. In other words, the wickedness is already happening, but it has to be revealed who's doing it more in depth. So now what we do know is we know that they're the Edomites. And this was information that was not taught to us in school, but was only taught to other holy men who we subscribe to listen to. So now we know who this man is. Now we know who they are. Now we know that they're the people of sin. Natural born transgressors.
Verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who not letteth will let until he be taken out of the way.
Yes. So the books are being opened, and during the time of the prophet Daniel, Daniel 12 tells us that the books were to be sealed until the time of the very end. And when the time of the very end comes, in the midst of that time, Yahawashi would then reveal the books unto the men of the Lord, the prophets. As Yahawashi said to the disciples, he said, for them, I have not chosen them, but I have chosen you and shown you the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. That's in Matthew's 13. Somebody get me that real quick.
Matthew's 13 and what?
And 10. Can somebody get Daniel's 2 and 47?
Okay, this is Matthew 13 and verse 10. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? And he answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given.
But unto them it is not given. And that's why Yahawashi spoke unto them in parables, because he didn't want the mass majority of the people that was listening to him to get it. He only wanted the very few, those that were following him, and those that were, teaching right along with him to get it. But everybody else was supposed to get it. So the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, we have that. As it says in the book of Amos 3 and 7, the Lord doeth nothing but he revealeth his secrets unto the servants, the prophets. Okay? But who can prophesy? Obviously, only the prophets can prophesy, because they were given the revelations and the visions to see, to prophesy. Now let's read Daniel 2, verse 47.
Excuse me. This is Daniel 2 and 47. And the king answered unto Daniel and said, Of a truth it is.
Yeah.
But your power is a power of powers, and the Lord of kings.
And the Lord of kings, go on.
And a revealer of secrets.
Right, so Nebuchadnezzar understood that very well. He understood that because Daniel gave the correct interpretation of the dream that he couldn't interpret all the other wise men that was behind him. This is what he told him. He said, look, your God is a God of gods, and he's also a power that revealeth secrets. And who does he reveal the secrets unto? The prophets, as he did Daniel the prophet, to interpret the vision for him. So as well as we've been granted the visions and the revelations of that which is of the book. And that's why we're telling you, Edomites, of what's forth to come of you. Okay? Simple. Go on, brother.
A little bit more. Seeing thou couldst reveal this secret, then the king made Daniel a great man.
Exactly. That's what we need. So yeah, get me so read what you had before. What did you have again?
Thessalonians.
Come on, you want to finish yours?
Yeah, I've got a quick precept.
Come on.
It says, Amos 3 and 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid?
Come on.
Shall there be evil in the city, and Yahawah hath not done it?
And the Lord hath not done it. So that we know that the Lord is responsible for deaths and destructions and wildness that happens in the cities. Like, for example, look what's going on in Israel with those Arabs as well. Hey, that was of the Heavenly Father. Those people are visited of the Heavenly Father. Of all of that wildness and that bullshit that's going on down there. That's all of the Father. The Father set that up.
Yeah.
And that just goes and shows the proof, as what we were talking about before camp, that those people in Israel cannot be the people. Because if they were the people, then peace would there follow thereafter, after they got done settling in that land. But it never happened. Because the minute they were situated in that land, there was a fight that broke out between them and the Arabs.
Yeah, the scripture says they will learn war no more. So
Exactly.
What the hell's going on there then?
Exactly. And that violence will no longer be heard in thy cities and thy dwelling places. So all of these other prophecies of peace, which would follow thereafter the Israelites would be settled there, are not happening. It's not happening now. And even the Muslims too. You know, you have a lot of rockets that will fight in their areas, destroying their holy places. And that's just quite a bit about their religion, showing you that there's no power, there's no genuine power or no substance to their doctrine either. Because they were giving it lows back in the day. They were out the street telling you what it was. Oh, Islam, Allah Akbar. I mean, they was going into that Arabic, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they swore they had it in the back with their doctrine, and they were to convince you otherwise. They were to convince you that they have the truth. Comes to find out they don't have the truth, because where's Allah Akbar and their Muslim Christ when it's needed? Because when you look at it, it's Salaki, brother. Hey man, like these two entities that they believe in, because they believe that the Messiah is going to come back as a Muslim. If there's any time if there's any time for him to be here, it should be right now, this minute.
Right.
It should be right now. But how come he ain't here? Because it never existed. Go on, brother. You want to
Because Allah Akbar, Allah is the greatest. Well, clearly not. He
Praying what? So like Muslims praying 7 times a day.
5 times a day.
And all that's still happening.
Yeah, man.
Huh.
All that.
Teaching that Muhammad was the last prophet.
Right, when I believe John was the revelator, he was the last prophet.
Yeah.
So they don't know what they're
That
talking
time,
about.
yeah.
Muslims don't have a clue.
Yeah. They're gone, man. Jesus gonna come back as a Muslim. What do you call him? Isa or something?
Yeah,
Isa.
Yeah, I remember listening to that, the whole version of that, how you gonna come back and go and start praying in a mosque and something. Come on, man.
Hey, brother, let me say this.
Fucked up, man.
Fuck them Muslims, because they're the first ones to talk about, don't drink, don't do this, but they're drinking, eating what? Smoking, eating jerk, pork, all that. But they'll be the first ones to tell you, don't do that.
So lucky, man, I just add to what the brother's saying. That's funny, because a lot of them Muslims, when I was at school, they were acting like they were holier than
Yeah.
thou. Years later, it come to pass. I was on holiday with some guys I knew back in the world. We went over to Brazil. They were up there in the flipping, what do they call it? The brothels and stuff, trying to get the prostitutes. And those are the guys who you think back home, they're acting like, I'm a good little Muslim. I'm keeping the laws of the Quran and stuff. They were the first ones up in them flipping whorehouses out there.
Come. Yeah, man. It's and you know it too. A lot of them were always like you've explained. They were always hypocrites all along. But now it's showing who's really got it, because those people over there, they were claiming that they were us. Prophecy played out. It didn't play out, and then they're claiming that their belief system is what it was. And now it's showcasing, which the so-called Jews, they run 98% of the media, so they're showcasing what's really going on. And what's really going on is neither of these two individuals, these two nations, these two peoples that are in our land, they don't have it. They don't have the religion of God as they claim to believe. We have the religion of the Most High. Okay? And more as time progresses, it's all going to be revealed that we have the truth. None of you Christians don't have the truth. None of the Muslims have the truth. And none of you so-called Israelis have the truth. Which you know what? Let me correct myself. You are Israelis. The word Israeli means modern day Jew. So they've separated themselves from the ancient Jews because we are the ancient Jews. So yeah, they're correct on that. But none of these individuals, none of these people, none of these other nations have the truth, but we have the truth. And none of you Negroes too, that's into this comedic science nonsense, it's going to be found out that your what you believe in, it ain't gonna save you, man. It ain't gonna do nothing for you. All right? Go on, brother.
This is concerning these heathens. This is Matthew 6 and 7. And it says, but when ye pray, use not vain repetitions, as the heathen do.
Yeah, that's what the Muslims do. If you want to go into that.
Yeah, go on. That's Islam.
Yeah, good scripture.
Yeah.
For they think that there shall be herds, for their much speaking.
Yeah. And when you check the story, because that's the thing, man. We got into all these religions to see what you're really about, just to prove that it's nowhere close to the truth. All right. That whole story is that Muhammad was up in heaven, and God told him something stupid like pray 50 times a day. And then Muhammad went back and said, oh no, it's too much for the people. And he went back again and said, okay, pray 40 times a day. And that same thing happened all the way until they got down to 5. What kind of stupid shit is that, man? But the scriptures clearly says that. Vain repetitions. Go on now.
And it says, but be not therefore like unto them, for your Father knoweth what things you have need of.
That's right.
Before you ask him.
Yeah, so you're going to need to pray at 3 o'clock in the morning, then you're going to need to pray again, when and that's sun worship as well. Because they do it according to how the sun is in the sky, man. Go on.
And the symbol of their religion is they have the moon too.
Yeah, the moon.
The moon,
Yeah.
Which goes which goes back to I believe it's Habal, which is the so-called moon god. You know the crescent?
Yeah, the crescent.
Yep.
And they just had the Ramadan thing. It fell on they were debating if it's gonna fall on a Wednesday or a Thursday, and it's all to do with when they see the moon in Saudi Arabia and all of that stuff. And we use the moon and stuff too, but that's on the right-hand side, man.
But we don't worship.
And we don't worship it. It's simply indication of prophetic times and to work out days and months and stuff like that, man. Also the idol Allah itself, right? You had like 99 of them, and then one was chosen, and that was the one they decided to worship.
Yeah, because they were even saying. They were even saying that Allah Akbar has 99 attributes. Some bullshit like that.
Come on, man.
You know what the Quran's good for?
Toilet paper.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Right, you said it. I was gonna be a bit more wiping your thing with it, but you said it for me already.
Yeah, man. That's the thing. You read the Quran, right? You just read like a page in English, man. You're gonna get a fucking headache, man. It is the most. They said that Muhammad was illiterate, right? Yeah. Well, it looks like it's written like a fucking illiterate person, man. Like, when you read it, it's just like, what the hell's going on here, man?
But you know who had to teach him?
Yeah,
a woman, Khadijah, who was an Israelite.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and when you really get into the history of it, he was going up to them Jews, and was getting taught by them. All right. So that's why the Pope and the likes of the Pope and all them man there, they can go to Al-Aqsa Mosque, and then they can go to the synagogue, and then they can go to the Catholic Church, because it all goes back to that Roman Catholicism. Yeah.
That's where it all originates back to.
All right, they got that hat on they wear the hat on their head.
And the beads, they wear the beads.
The beads. All right. How is it that the Catholics have the beads, and then the Muslims have the beads? The Catholics have that skull cap. Then the Jews, the so-called, well, they are Jews. They're Jewish. Okay, because what Jewish means like. You want to be like us, so you are Jewish. Okay, they have the skull cap. The Muslims have that, and that goes back to what?
The worshipping of the sun.
The worshipping of the sun. There you go.
Like they wear this thing called the Kabbalah hats. Among those so-called Jews. The Muslims wear the same similar thing. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like, we know and understand that all of you guys and all of you different nations out there, man, y'all don't got it. Y'all thought y'all had it, but y'all don't really got it, man.
Right.
We got the truth.
And you got an offshoot, the 5%ers, the nation of Islam.
Of Earth.
What do they wear them hats? It's called a fez. And what does that remind you of? Graduation in US, a Mason hat. So brothers are switched on. We're not ignorant to nothing. We're switched on.
And then you fucking Nation of Islam guys, you don't read the Quran. You always go into the Bible, man. What's wrong? You're just confused, man. Allah Akbar, and then you reading out of prophecies and what's his name, fucking Farrakhan. You got he reading out Ezekiel and Jeremiah all the time.
Hey brother, respect your elders.
So like, but that guy pisses me off because he's a good speaker, man.
Yeah, he is.
But
that's how he got to where he is.
But it's like, why you quote the Quran then? If you're on that Islam vibe, then quote the Quran. Because there ain't nothing in there, man. You just go and read it and get a headache, man.
That's right.
Go on, man.
This is Jeremiah 10 and verse 1. Hear ye the word which Yahawah speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith Yahawah, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, For the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. Right, that goes into the Christmas tree. But the reason why I'm reading that is because you're speaking about how they worship the moon in Islam.
Yeah, their whole sign, like the Christians got the cross, you know, and then for Islam it's the crescent moon with the star.
And if I may say, that cross, you shouldn't even be wearing that cross. Because that's another sign of defying Yahawashi. That's you celebrating his death. That means it's really an X.
It means to X out. I always say, obviously it had to happen that way according to prophecy and stuff, but let's just say, for argument's sake, the Lord died another way. Would you wear a chain if they hung the Lord on a tree? Would you wear a chain with a fucking noose? You know? Or if they drowned the Lord, would you have some chain with like a body of water on there? Like, come on, man. You're celebrating a Persian method which the Romans adopted to execute people, man. Oh Jesus, yeah, do the sign of the cross, man. That's death, man. Like you're wearing death on your neck, and you're saying that that's the Lord protecting you, man.
It's lucky, man. That's what you're saying. That's a very good point because there's a rapper. I don't know if you guys have heard of an old school rapper called KRS-One.
Oh yeah,
and he done a song saying, you know, if they killed the, like you said, if they killed the Lord with a machine gun, would you wear a machine gun around your neck? That was one of the lyrics of one of his songs.
You know, that cross, that's the thing, man. The cross, and that's what it is, really. You know, that's another Christian what do you call it? Ideology. You know, oh yeah, the cross. It's all about the cross. You know, they got that stupid song at the cross where I first saw the light. All that bullshit, man. That's death, man. Okay, the real power is in the blood, man. All right. When you check the Passover that the Lord had, what did He say? Drink the cup of the covenant, man. The agreement that goes all the way back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which the Heavenly Father made with them, following unto His nation. That cross ain't got nothing to do with it, man. All right. What's it? Peter. He got crucified and he was like, listen, man, I'm not even worthy to go out the same way as the Lord, man. Put the damn thing upside down. All right? And they crucified him upside down, man. And then there's no power in the cross, man. All right?
It's just the cross.
It's just a cross. It's just a piece of wood that they put together, all right? And you go out by suffocation, man. You know, and if you take it too long, they break your bones and that's it, man. All right? The real power is in the blood of Yahawashi, man. You know? But anyways, going on them symbols, man. Christianity ain't got it, and Islam damn sure ain't got it, man. Okay?
Where's Allah Akbar when
Where's
you need
Allah now, man?
Yeah. You know, I got one for you. The Muslims are circling the drain. You know the way they circle that Kaaba stone?
Oh, yeah.
That's them circling the drain.
God.
That's the money, and they try to say that's the first house of prayer where Abraham built that and all kind of crap.
Yeah, they say he built it with Ishmael.
And it's disgusting. I wouldn't even touch it. Because when you actually look at the Mecca stone, what has he got in his, the middle of it?
It looks like a vagina, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're commanded to throw white stones in it. Come on, man. That's making fun of the people.
Yeah.
And may I just say as well, that's a complete hustle because every Muslim believes they have to complete the Hajj. They have to do it. So them Muslim travel agents, they make big bucks off of that every year trying to get people to go. Well, these people think they have to go there to make that pilgrimage. It's all bullshit, man. It's just money-making shit.
That's all it is. As well as Christianity. They make money by talking this nonsense about all nations could be saved and all of this nonsense. And all nations can get into the church. Like I was saying last week, you know, I kind of just blurred out as a so-called swear word, but I mean, you know, hey, Paul said, do I be rude in speech, but not in the knowledge. So I said something to the effect of, you know, if you could take what, 10 motherfuckers in the church, 10,000 of them bad boys, right? And they all pay their cut for the church. The dude's making 50 grand a year. I mean, 50 grand a service, excuse me. So that's a whole lot of money. Let's just say he has to make extra payments on the building. He's still caking. He's still doing pretty well. So I mean, that's a whole money get up. That whole Christianity thing is a money get up. And what we've done, we've destroyed their business. That's why you got certain pastors, they're like, man, fuck the Israelites. Yeah, because we fucked up your money.
Yeah. Precept. Yeah, that's right. This is Romans 10 and verse 1. Because at the end of the day, it's not about Islam. Salvation isn't for any other nation but Israel. So Romans 10 and 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High is for Israel, that they might be saved.
Yep.
So that's the Apostle Paul saying. And that's why a lot of them Muslims try and come against Apostle Paul. They say, oh, you just believe in Paul. You know, Paul taught different doctrine to the Old Testament. They try and say that, but it's all lies because you know, you go precept upon precept, line upon line. There's no variance in the Bible. The scriptures all link together and they all add up. And if you try and bring the Quran into it, the Quran is going to be like, what do they call it? Trying to mix water and oil. They don't go together.
Yeah, they're trying to say, oh well, the Bible's corrupt. There's too many versions of it. There's a good few versions of the Quran out there as well.
Yeah,
man. There's a lot of versions of that Quran, man. All right, and then you got the Sunnah and the Hadith.
Yeah, you got the different Hadiths. Yeah.
And they're saying, oh, this is like very authentic, or this one is not as authentic. We ain't going through the scriptures and saying, oh look, well we're on we're on Ezra's, but he's not as authentic, so we can't trust his source as much as Jeremiah or Joel. Come on, man, like what the hell? Why? Because it was written by men.
That's
so
right.
when you and they actually say it, they cut themselves. They say, oh, this is the what do you call it? The account of Abu Bakr and this, and the Prophet did this, and it's all speculation, man.
Yeah.
When you open the Bible, it's all the words of the Lord.
And then you have the book of Surah and all this nonsense, which the word Surah goes back to the Greek.
I got one for you, yeah? The precept to what you just brought out.
No, sorry. I mean, it goes back to Sarah.
Yeah.
Woman worship.
Psalms 147 and 18. He sendeth out his word and melteth them. He causeth his wind to blow and the waters flow. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statute and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any other nation. As for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
Yeah, so that includes you, Ishmael. Okay, you are part of the other nation group that the Lord didn't show his statutes unto, man. He didn't show the ways of life unto you, man. Okay, Yashama Allah, that's what you were named. It means what He has heard, man. Like God heard you and gave you a blessing on the side, but as for His law, statutes, and commandments, He's not dealing with you, man. Okay, that went to Israel, right?
And it even says it in their own Quran, man.
Yeah, can't. Yeah, it says something about seeking the ways of out of the Torah. You know, I forgot how they call it, but it says go and read of the ancient book of the ancient scrolls and
Or
see
the book of Abraham,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, something like that. You know, so the Quran itself is directing you to the scriptures. Like, come on, man. You know, it doesn't make sense. Go on.
I've got this. There's a lot of good stuff here. This is Wisdom of Solomon 13, chapter 13. Surely, vain are all men by nature, who are ignorant of the Most High, and that could not, out of the good things that are seen, know Him that is. Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster, but deemed either fire, wind, or swift air, or the circles of the stars, or the violent water, or the lights of heaven, to be the gods which govern the world, with whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods. Let them know how much better the Lord Yahawashi of them is. For the first author of beauty have created them.
Yeah, so the first author of beauty is who? Yahawashi created all of these things. So you would have gods that would do, you know, the god of this, the god of that, you know. And as we just established, they'd chosen what, that god of the moon, all right, and then took that. But then it says the author of all of these is who? Yahawah, Yahawashi.
That's right.
Go on, huh?
More. But if they were astonished at their power and virtue, let them understand by them how much mightier He that is that made them.
Yeah, so you loving off the moon and that, you know, and you every couple of seconds you got to be looking up at the sun to see how, you know, where the sun's sitting in the sky for your next prayer and all of that. You're there marveling at the things which were made. When really you should be marveling at the Creator, the one who made them, you know. Go on, huh?
Yeah, there's more. This is verse 6. But yet for this they are less to be blamed, for they peradventure err, seeking the Most High and desirous to find Him. For being confident in His works, they search Him diligently. You know what this reminds me of? Bear me just a minute. This reminds me of David Attenborough.
Yeah.
He knows about all the sea, the deep depths of the sea, but he doesn't believe in the Most High.
Right.
And believe their sight, because the things are beautiful that are seen.
That's a damn. No, when you really think about it, that's a demon, man. That's a demon. For
It sure is.
For you to be so interested in planet Earth and then come to the conclusion that this is all just some big, beautiful mistake, all right? That's a heavy demon, man. Like how can look Esau, right? He creates systems, he creates algorithms, he creates plans, right? And then when one thing goes wrong, the whole thing's messed up. But it took him hours to make that whole mechanism. It took him hours to make that system. It took board meeting after board meeting. It gets cleared at this level, go to the next level, then it gets approved, then it's put in place. But you mean, and that's for some stupid little thing in the workplace. But you mean to tell me a whole existence like this ecosystem?
It's just a mistake.
You know, the particles, you know, collided and boom, that was it. Everything just kept, nah, man. That's a demon, man. Alright, what they call it? The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
That's a heavy vibration of a demon, man.
And then you got another philosophy too, which really is of this world, holy, which is evolution.
Yeah.
The whole concept of evolution.
Yeah, we evolving and that. Like.
Yeah.
So my question is, why did it stop?
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, why do you change it?
Yeah,
Why do you constantly evolve?
Why are we seeing fucking bears come out the woods and that, you know, and then a couple of years later, you know, he's evolved, he's standing up a little bit more straight. Like, why did it stop? It's the same mistake of a world, no? So why is it stopping? It doesn't. That's why it's called a theory, man. You'll never hear them say Big Bang fact, because they can't prove it. You know, it's a theory.
That's a good point. Big Bang fact.
We come out here saying, well, the theory of Yahawashi and an idea of salvation, what possibly could happen. No, we're telling you what it is, because this is factual, and what you're coming with is theory.
Man, I just had two things to what you're saying, if I may. That's a good point. The way Esau gets away with, like you said about the bear, why hasn't the bear evolved or whatever? They hide it by saying, oh, the Earth is 65 million years old. So it takes millions and billions of years for the smallest changes
But
to
you know,
happen.
though, brother, they all come in different numbers.
Exactly.
One
they're
would
not
say
consistent.
25 billion, one would say 40 billion, and one would say 65 billion.
It's ridiculous, and it's lucky to interrupt. But there's another thing, something that Esau doesn't really put out there much. But if you're into, for example, visual art or anything, you find out about it. There's something known as the Fibonacci sequence. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I heard of that.
Yeah. It's basically a commonly reoccurring ratio that is found all throughout nature. So, for example, you could apply this number sequence, and you always find that flowers' petals have the same type of arrangement. You can see in the configuration of your ear, the positioning of, like, if you used to take someone's human face and you used to divide it, it would have the ratio between the eyes and the nose. But for example, like the distance between the top of your head to your groin, then down to the feet equals two rectangles of the same proportion. Or for example, you know, the length of your forearm is in the same length as your foot. You start to see these reoccurring patterns in nature, and you can't deny that there had to have been a creator for this sequence to be so prominent in nature.
No, it's a mistake, bro. You know, that just happened.
random.
That
It's
just
random.
happened. Like, come on, man.
See, that's the thing. People in the world, they don't know how to connect the dots. Like, we know how to connect the dots because we look at our lives and we say, hang on a minute, there has to be something behind this. So we're able to link, okay, this leads to that, that came from that, and it all goes back to Genesis, as it was said. But Esau, he's trying to, it's like, everything's plain, but he wants to take the most important part of the equation out, like the Most High.
But you know what it is too, because they don't want to give credit when credit is due.
Exactly. And by taking the Most High out of the equation, they can put themselves in and say, hey, look, you know, we did this and everything else is just random. Esau's full of shit, man. I've said
That's
enough.
spiritual, because that goes back to, what's his name, Martin Luther. I'm not talking about Martin Luther,
You mean
King.
the Protestant?
Yes.
Martin Luther.
Yeah, and what did they do? They crept up in there and the whole reformation of the church changed. Ready to get you to destroy, they tried to destroy the Bible, not to believe in the Bible. So Esau's all about destroying the validity of the Bible, which you can't do.
And what's the first way he done that? What's the first way he destroyed the validity of the word of the Lord? It's all the way back in the garden when he came as that serpent, man. He changed. He didn't create a new sentence. He used the same words of the Most High
And perverted it.
but added one word.
Play on
not.
words.
That's the word that fucked Eve over. Not. La'ah in Hebrew. You eat of the fruit. What did the Lord say? You shall surely die. He came and said, you shall not surely die.
Right.
From there, she got involved and we're here today. From the beginning from women is the beginning of sin, and by her we all die.
Yep.
That's how we got here. As they like to say, thank you for my TED talk. Yeah, see, that's it, man. That's what it is, okay? That's exactly what it is. So you brothers are right, man. They want to take the word of the Lord, and it's because it's not from them, because as they always say, they want to give no credit. Nah, we got to get rid of this. So you had the reformers, you had these wicked scientists. Okay, and by the way, science is not wicked. All right, it's the use of it. You know, on the left-hand side.
It just means knowledge. That's all
it is, man. Like spiritual power, you could break that down through science. Really and truly. Now, when we get it, Lord willing, we ain't gonna have to, you know, be putting chemicals together. You're just gonna do it. But really, when you check it out, it can be it can be explained rather by science. All right. So you've got the left-hand use, you've got the right-hand use. You know, but keep going, man.
I've got something. Yeah, this is verse 8. There's a lot here. How about neither are they to be pardoned? For if they were able to know so much, David Attenborough, that they could aim at the world. How did they not sooner find out the Lord thereof? But miserable are they, and dead things is their hope, who call them gods, which are the works of man's hands, gold and silver, to show arting and resemblances of beasts, or a stone, cover, good for nothing, the work of an ancient hand. Now a carpenter and felleth timber.
And we can't forget what happened in India too, when they pretty much did away, dashed their gods away.
That's funny as hell, man.
I mean, Mossad's hitting him with a new cyclone now.
right on top of what they were.
Yeah, and they said, "Oh, it's just what we need after what we're going through with the pandemic. Now we got this to deal with."
I've got more. After he have sawn down a tree, meat for the purpose, and taken off all the bark skillfully round about, and have wrought it handsomely, and made a vessel thereof fit for the service of man's life. And after spending the refuse of his work to dress his meat, have filled himself, and taking the very refuse among those which serve to no use, being a crooked piece of wood, and full of knots, have carved it diligently, when he had nothing else to do.
So it's true. These people going off there, it's a diligent way of them basically going to the left-hand side, man. Like David Attenborough, and like the brother mentioned him, he ain't coming with no half-assed, you know, something like you could easily, like, he comes with some serious information, man.
Yeah, he does.
You know, I watch that shit and like get fascinated, like, oh shit.
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good.
He's good at what he does.
Yeah.
But for the fact that it all goes back to his conclusion of there's no more side, there's no God, you know, that created and orchestrated all of this. That's a diligent demon, man.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm thinking too, Salakia, brother. Salakia. Yeah, but you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that he probably does believe in the Most High, right? Because Esau knows everything. It says that in the I believe it's in the book of it's somewhere in the scriptures, but it says that thou art wiser than Daniel.
Yeah.
So Esau knows that there's a higher power, but what it is with Esau, because the world that we're in right now, they don't give credit when credit is due, because really the power that they worship of this world is actually Satan. So for them to give reverence to the almighty power, that means they have to denounce their God, their already God that they worship already. You know, and this is morally to convince themselves that a higher power cannot actually exist, because if they do exist, then they have to take themselves out of the equation, and maybe one day they have to pay for the crimes that they committed, and that's what it goes back to. That's just my thing, you know.
May I add something, if I may? We're talking about David Attenborough. You know, when I was younger, I used to watch his nature programs and think, oh, this guy's so smart. But I remember one time, probably about 2013, I was sitting there and I was watching some program of his with my mum, and she said something that was actually really smart. She said, you know what, a lot of people look at this guy and they think he's a wise man, like he's going to all these countries and finding out about the ants and the insects and all this stuff. She said, oh, he's not really that smart, he's just reading the script.
Yeah, he
and
is.
It's true. So basically they set him up there on the BBC to make you look at him and think, oh yeah, this is some wise Edomite. But really, it's all kinds of researchers